I love me some Circuit Superstar, so when I saw the game was updated to version 0.2 today, I had to grip my grubby little paws out, dive in and have a play. There's a few new features that have been added on, so I thought I'd do a quick video to show. The first thing is Tilk Sport, a new circuit that has 3 different layouts. You've got the full version, a club version and a Rallycross version that is basically like indie brands but as a Rallycross track, which is fab. And you'll see some gameplay footage of that later on. The circuits in Circuit Superstars for me always seem to borrow from real life layouts, and for me this one is borrowing from Laguna Seca. Maybe that's because there's quite a lot of beach and sand around everywhere and it's designed to catch you out, but to me the layout kind of evokes that, with maybe a pinch of Elkhart Lake perhaps thrown in for good measure. The full circuit layout is the longest circuit that they've put into the game so far, and it really shows because you run out of fuel before you run out of tyres, which is quite unusual for me in this game. And what I found really fun is that, particularly in the second half of the track after you've gone down the long back straight, because the first half of the circuit is quite hairpin focused, the final thing is final half of the circuit is much more flowing, but much more rewarding and satisfying when you've got new tyres on, because you can hang on and just feather the throttle slightly around some of the corners and hang on for dear life. But when your tyres give out, oh my god, it's a real handful to make sure that you don't lose tons of time, especially around that second half of the lap. Particularly because the sand is right on the edge when you're running wide, and the corner cutting markers are quite close, so if you're going to bugger it up, you normally bugger it up spectacularly and smash into the barriers. That also brings us on to one of the new updates for the game as well, is that they've clarified exactly why you're getting penalties when you do get the penalties, and now wall rubbing evokes either damage or a time penalty depending if you've got damage on or off. And believe me, I went into those barriers a fair few times and it did definitely damage me. The longer that you stay on the barriers, it just kind of shuffles down your health meter as you kind of drag yourself along. The second version, the club version, actually is quite nifty, because the way how it kind of lobs off the top right hand corner of the circuit map, it turns the change from the club circuit, where you go off from one circuit and kind of rejoin at the end of the back straight. It makes it into a chicane that reminds me heavily of the final chicane at Manicourt in France after the Lycée corner, but also the final chicane of what used to be there at Imola before we kind of started going back there in the recent 2 years. So I'm thinking of like up to the 2006 layout, because it's quite wide on the chicane and you have to hit both of the curbs to really nail it. And if you get it wrong, it spits you out and you smash into the barriers, giving those new damage factors that you've got for smashing into walls. So yeah, actually I found the club circuit just as entertaining and as satisfying to get right as the full version of the circuit, and that's a really good balance. The final version is the Rallycross version, and I found this quite tricky because it's got what I'm going to call a mogul, or a hump in the middle. I don't know what the technical term is. I don't really watch Rallycross particularly, but I found it quite fun. But obviously, because you've got jumpy physics in there, it unsettles the car, and then you're all over the shots. And because a lot of the corners around here, when you're on the sand, you really have to kind of drift your way through. You're quite slow on the exit, and so everyone's just smashing into each other, and it does make it quite carnage fest-fied, which is a good thing for some things, potentially bad for if you just want to smash someone out of the way. There's actually quite a good incentive to do so, because although you'll get damaged, the other person will end up really disadvantaged. So I was really struggling to not smash into the AI competitors and be like so yeah, really interesting. Great addition to Circuit Superstars. It's also really understanding how sand works, I guess, in the game. I know we've kind of had off-road stuff beforehand, but this feels like a slightly different feel to what we had in the previous update, which is really interesting as well. The last thing I just wanted to kind of mention at the end here is that they've also introduced friend lobbies. Now, I know that this was a big thing for a lot of other people kind of going in. I'm quite happy racing randoms, but if this was to start setting up things for leagues, which is something I do want to do with Circuit Superstars, this is key to it. The way how a friend lobby works is that you go into the main menu and create a lobby, and it gives you a code on the top of the screen. Share that code with your chums, and they go to join a lobby, and they just need to type that code in, and then it will sync you up with that lobby, and you can have up to 12 people in it now, which was one of my main issues beforehand where we were stuck at 6. So yeah, another fine update from Circuit Superstars. I'll just leave you with some more gameplay footage, and I hope to see you all out on track. I'm super hyped for this game, if you can't tell already. Take care all. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.